Podcast, little late night address about the Bondi v. Bongino scandal, which I believe needs a nickname, and I'm going to go with Bondino. Hashtag Bongino. Let's Bondino. Let's get it out there, people. Let's get it running. But here's something you don't hear every day. Cheers to you, Fox News, for keeping a story in the news cycle, keeping it alive that reflects poorly upon Donald Trump and the administration. Why, I cannot figure out, but it's both current and former Fox Newsers who have above and beyond MSNBC or CNN who have kept this thing alive. Yes, the MAGA universe, the far right social, almost conspiracy wing has contributed, but really, it's the mainstream Fox News television shows. Case in point, the worst thing that ever happened to Donald Trump when it comes to the Epstein files was the Fox and Friends weekend interview in which all the evidence was provided. No file was ever needed after this devastating interview with the weekend crew that, frankly, I think made Trump look more guilty than anything. Here it is now. Oh, Rachel Campos Duffy, I believe, is the anchor.
Classify the 9/11 files.
Yeah.
Would you declassify JFK files?
Yeah. I did a lot of it.
Would you declassify the Epstein files?
Yeah, I would.
All right.
I guess I would. I think that less so because, you don't know. You don't want to affect people's lives if it's phony stuff in there because there's a lot of phony stuff with that whole world. But I think I would.
I got to take a swig after that one. That is rich. Doesn't like getting involved with the phony stuff out there because, there might be a few immigrants eating dogs who have an issue with that statement from President Trump. For most of us, that's proof. I don't need to see a file. But that was just the beginning of how Fox News continued to expose this story. That was 1 year ago. And then I think probably the worst thing that ever happened to Pam Bondi's career, hence Bondino, Bondi versus Bongino, happened in February on Fox News. John Roberts puts the screws to her about the Epstein files.
DOJ may be releasing the list of Jeffrey Epstein's clients. Will that really happen?
It's sitting on my desk right now to review. That's been a directive by President Trump. I'm reviewing that. I'm reviewing JFK files, MLK files. That's all in the process of being reviewed because that was done at the directive of the president from all of these agencies.
And now she wants to make it a semantic issue that she said, when she said the list was on her desk, she actually just meant the file. That wasn't, of course, the question, and that wasn't what she said. Now she wants to claim that it was nothing but a file on her desk. Let's not forget, she invited MAGA influencers to the White House to show them the Epstein files. Yay! She played them. She punked them. She put public information in these binders with redacted information and made a fool of these people that she thought wouldn't read it. These aren't idiots. So that was Fox News number 2. Fox News number 3. Actually, one of the better White House reporters to emerge from this era. I can't believe I'm saying this, is Peter Doocy. When he started working, when I worked at Fox, he wasn't a disaster. He was a Nepo baby. He didn't deserve that job. Most of us had to pay our dues, making 15 grand in South Dakota, going up through the ranks, making our mistakes. No, he got to make them at Fox News. But anyway, he's figured out the job, and I think he's pretty damn good at it. And here he is, I think much to her surprise, pressing Carolyn Levitt.
Okay, so the FBI looks at the circumstances surrounding the death of Jeffrey Epstein. According to the report, this systematic review revealed no incriminating client list. So what happened to the Epstein client list that the Attorney General said she had on her desk?
Well, I think if you go back and look at what the Attorney General said in that interview, which was on your network on Fox News.
Got the quote.
Go ahead.
John Roberts said, DOJ may be releasing the list of Jeffrey Epstein's clients. Will that really happen? And she said, it's sitting on my desk right now to review.
Yes, she was
What?
saying the entirety of all of the paperwork, all of the paper in relation to Jeffrey Epstein's crimes. That's what the Attorney General was referring to. And
I didn't pass the smell test, but nice job, Peter Doocy, even giving her that smirk of you're full of shit right now. So again, not done yet with the Fox News staying at it. Prime time, I believe one of the higher rated shows in all of cable news. Jesse Waters booked Paul Bet David and could have brought up anything in the world he wanted to. It's his choice what the topics in the show are. And what did he start with?
There is a reason why people are asking about this. This is by far, and I'm a supporter. 3 times I voted for this man. This is by far the biggest fumble of the administration they've had thus far. And here's the reason why. Go out there and are like, we have this information and we're going to release this and cash. And let me tell you what we have with Pam Bondi out of the state of Florida. She knew everything about Bondi, about Epstein. Why are you fumbling this?
Why? Presumably because, okay, Donald Trump is somewhere in the file. I'm not telling you right now that he slept with an underage girl, but it goes without saying that his DOJ, his FBI, is covering up for his involvement with Jeffrey Epstein, among other rich, powerful, wealthy world leaders, CEOs, billionaires, who knows? Donald Trump has had a 20-year relationship with Jeffrey Epstein. So that's just some of the Fox News pressing this issue, keeping it alive. And again, I'm not mocking them. Touche. I'm giving them credit. And former Fox Newsers have been all over it, of course, led by Megyn Kelly, who hammered Bondi with her presentation that I mentioned earlier with those MAGA influencers.
She was too lazy to actually figure out none of this is new. And yet she called a meeting with the influencers that included Kash Patel, the head of the FBI, and the sitting vice president. So she's either lazy and incompetent, or she willingly humiliated some of the president's most loyal supporters. Neither one of those is good, and that's why I'm sorry, but I'm going to predict her days are numbered as a member of the Trump administration.
And Megyn continues to beat that drum on her show and with Charlie Kirk at Turning Point on Friday night, hammering Pam Bondi must go. As for the influencer incident, I think she did intend. I don't think she thought those MAGA influencers would turn on her. She thought she could give them a prop. They would wave it around and be thrilled that they're at the White House. Go on your way. That's what she thought. I don't think she was lazy or incompetent. I think she didn't think much of the influencers that she invited to the White House, because there are many who I know that you sprinkle a little magic dust on them and give them a call from President Trump or a text from President Trump or a photo with President Trump, and they lose their shit. They don't know how to be objective anymore. I know some of these journalists, interviewed some of these journalists, and he has a charm about him that can really mystify credible people. So one more former Fox Newser. I don't know how many people are more influential than Tucker Carlson, who has been hammering this story as well.
As someone who voted for the president, campaigned for the president a lot, I'm not attacking the president, but I think even people who are fully on board with, the bulk of the MAGA agenda are like, this is too much, actually.
Yes.
I'm saying that with love, and I hope that they're listening, because I think this threatens to blow up the whole thing. The whole thing that this tape shows that he didn't kill himself is like a joke. But worse than that, it's a joke that we all get. Like, they're not fooling anybody. So I feel like we're at a dangerous point now.
Threatens to blow up the whole thing. We're at a dangerous point right now. Again, this is just one of those times you got to give credit where credit is due, and Fox News deserves it. I think I can't figure out the why. People have asked me this when I've presented this to them, and I think the why is quite simple. This story rates. It must rate for them because they haven't really played up the Elon versus Trump, the America Party, any of that. It must not rate. People that say Fox is a warmonger network or this network or that network, they really are about ratings. They are about business. They are about green, maybe not overread. That I'd have to examine further. But I do have a couple of questions that remain here. And there are mainly two. If Pam Bondi goes, and that is clearly what's going to happen, she's out. What does that change? The DOJ and the FBI are still holding the line. President Trump is demanding they still hold the line. They're not going to release anything they have on Jeffrey Epstein. I don't know that it changes anything other than gives MAGA Nation a scalp. And I don't think ultimately they're going to be satisfied with them, though I don't know these figures all that well. And finally, don't kill me for this one, or do. Please do. I invite the conversation. Even if Trump is in the Epstein files, even if he slept with an underage girl, what changes? No one's going to change their mind about Donald Trump. And I question, will the GOP or will MAGA turn on Trump? My bet is no. I do not think anything changes. Even if he slept with an underage girl, he would simply brush it off as, I had no idea. I thought she was, I don't know, 19, 20. It was 30 years ago when we were all partying. That was the thing to do. It'll go away. I call bullshit on anyone who's going to tell me that the GOP in the House or the Senate is going to suddenly turn on the guy, or that MAGA will. Look, there are already a few with balls. Don Bacon, he's retiring. Tom Tillis, he's out. Rand Paul clearly has a pair. He probably would. Maybe I'm missing a few others, but not many. I mean, yeah, Susan Collins, Lisa Murkowski, there's a handful who would, I think, be out. But for the most part, I don't think the dynamic changes that much. Do you? I want to hear from you. What changes if, in fact, Donald Trump is in the Epstein files and slept with an underage girl? What changes if Pam Bondi is gone and he replaces her with some other hack that's going to be his personal Roy Cohn attorney? Just a few nuggets, food for thought. So please like and subscribe to the Sanity Podcast, and cheers to Fox News for getting it done. Hope you're all having a tequila on a Friday night.